Hey friends, welcome back. Around here, we plan with purpose from minutes to money to meals. Today, I'm showing you how I make one of my favorite healthy drinks, kombucha. Not only is it delicious and refreshing, but it's also packed with probiotics for gut health. So, if you ever wondered how to make your own kombucha at home, stick around because I'm taking you step by step through the process. Let's get started. First, let's go over everything you need. You will need a quart of water or 4 cups of water, hibiscus tea, sugar, a cloth and rubber band, a glass jar, and then measuring cups. I have a fourth of a cup as well as a cup. All right, now that we have everything set up, let's get brewing. The first thing you're going to do is bring your quart or 4 cups of water to a boil. I'm using my milk maker to boil my water because it's faster and it's just easier for me. You can use whatever method you prefer to boil your water. Now, after your water has come to a boil, I'm using a 2 quart serving cup that I'm pouring the boiling water into. And then I add half a cup of sugar. I'm using raw cane sugar. You can use whatever type of sugar that you prefer. After you add the sugar, you're going to stir until all of the sugar has dissolved into the hot water. Once the sugar has dissolved into the water, next you're going to add 1 cup of hibiscus tea. I'm using a whole leaf hibiscus tea. If you have tea bags, you can use that. But I would say use a good grade of tea. Otherwise, you could potentially run into your SCOBY actually molding from using bad tea bags. I've had that happen before. You're going to stir in your tea bags or tea leaves until they all get soaked and kind of dissolve, not dissolve, but all get soaked with the water. Now that you have added your sugar and your tea to the hot water, you're going to allow this to come to room temperature before you add your SCOBY and kombucha. Because if you add it while the tea is still hot, you risk killing your SCOBY. SCOBY is actually an acronym and it stands for Symbiotic Culture of Bacteria and Yeast. This is what gives the kombucha the healthy gut bacteria. Now that my tea has come to room temperature, I'm actually going to strain out the hibiscus leaves. If you use tea bags, of course, you don't need to strain it. You would just remove the tea bags, but because I'm using loose leaf tea, I have to strain it before I go on to the next step. Now that I have strained out my tea, I'm going to pour it into my fermenting or kombucha jar. It's not any special jar that I have. I had bought a kit from, I believe it was Farm Steady. And it came with this jar. So this is just the jar that I use. So I'm pouring it in my jar, my tea in my kombucha fermenting jar. And then next I'm going to pour my kombucha from my last batch that I made. And then I'll add the SCOBY. I'm trying to pour the SCOBY kind of slowly just so you can kind of see what it looks like. I don't like to touch it with my hands. It feels almost like a gel-like substance, almost like a jellyfish, I guess, to kind of give you what it feels like. And then this is what you pour in for it to ferment over 7 to 10 days. I did forget, before you actually add your kombucha and your SCOBY to your tea, you want to add enough water to it in your jar. I don't have quite a measurement. I'll probably say maybe a cup. Or a little bit more than a cup until it gets to almost to the top of your fermenting jar. After you add your SCOBY and kombucha, the last thing that you do is you just cover your fermenting jar with a cloth and a rubber band. Kombucha actually has to breathe. That's why you don't put a cap on it. So you just cover it with a cloth and you put the rubber band, of course, to hold the cloth in place. And then as you see, I'm putting mine on my countertop kind of out of the way just so that it can ferment 7 to 10 days. Just know your kombucha should ferment for 7 to 10 days. The longer you let it ferment, the tangier your kombucha will be. And if you allow it to go too long, your SCOBY will mold and the batch will be, of course, you would have to pour it out so that you won't get sick. How do I know? Because I've had this happen to me. And that's it. You just made your own kombucha from scratch. Now, if you would like to see how I bottle or flavor my kombucha once it's ready after the 7 to 10 days, or how I bottle it for my second fermentation, comment below because I would love to show you that process as well. And if you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more DIY recipes and tips. Let me know in the comment what flavors you're excited to try. I'll be sharing more brewing tips and flavor experiments in upcoming videos, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. If this has helped, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Remember, when you plan your minutes, money, and meals, you're not just organizing your day, you're designing your life. Until next time, stay grounded, stay intentional, and keep building your abundant life.